Hello Star Citizens and Meridian members, and welcome back to a brand new tutorial. So this one will be about gem mining. Now, gem mining, like mining as well, requires a significant amount of investment before you get started. So the first place you want to go to is Germanium Thumbs. So we go into here, over to the terminals, and we search for the Pembroke. The Pembroke Exploration Suit protects you from a lot of environmental damage while on the planets that we're going to, so we're just going to buy the whole suit and we're going to bring it with us. Now the next thing we'll need is to head to the hangars. Now that we're in a hangar, you want a large cargo ship like this, preferably one with a big ramp, because we need some specific heavy machinery. You need either the rock mining rover, which is this with the big mining arm on the front, which goes for about 100k to buy and about 2,500 to rent thereabouts. Or you can have the Atlas Geo mining suit for around 90k to buy. Anyway, we are going to now head up to Everest Harbour because there's one more thing we need to purchase. Now we're in Everest Harbour, we want to head to the cargo deck and head over to the supplies terminal here. And what we want to do is buy some of these SCU crates. So we're just going to buy a one SCU, one, maybe just two of these for now. And I think just in case we're going to get an 8 SCU one. Now we're going to just head back to the hangar and load up. And here we are. All these store all containers have been loaded in, and this is where we're going to store all the gems once we've mined them. Now you're probably wondering how these actually work. It's simple, you just walk up, press F on them, and it shows you an empty inventory, and you can just drag stuff into here. Now you're probably wondering as well, where are we actually going to go to mine these gems? Well, let's hop over to Regolith. So if we look at Regolith, we actually have a full breakdown here of all the kind of odds of where ores are going to be. So the rare ones at the end, which are like the S-class, are Janelite, Hadanite, and Phenomeline, or as I prefer to call it, Fentanyl, just because it's funny. So as we scroll through, you can see there are like quite high odds. For example, Pyro L4, there's quite a lot here in this kind of area, because you've got Pyro 4, that's where you actually can get Jamalite. You can also get Jamalite in the prison if you want to do that. Caronite and Jathilium and Thalidinium are also good, but they're for kind of Wicklow only, and you can only get them by doing the orbital laser, so we're just going to discount them. Anyway, the planets that my friends generally use for gem mining is Ignis and Pyro 4, because they have both very high concentrations of Phenomeline and a decent chance of getting Hadanite as well as a bit of Jalanite as well. However, we're going to stay in Stanton and we're going to go to Ariel because it's actually got the highest concentration of Hadanite outside of Microtech, and also got a decent stab at Phenomeline as well. Equally, Aberdeen's also a good shout as well. Either way, all of these planets, I think bar Microtech, require the Pembroke Exploration Suit. So now we're just going to head off to Ariel and start mining there. And here we are on Ariel. Now, recently I've discovered a slight glitch with the actual Pembroke suit. And that is, the helmet doesn't work. What I've done is I've put a heavy, helmet suit on. And, you know, if you walk out here, this will basically give you about 10-15 minutes protection. And then you can walk in again and get another 10-15 minutes. Now, what we have done is we've landed at a fentanyl deposit, or fentanyl deposit, as I call it. And we're going to demonstrate how you mine using the rock. Huzzah, we're out. Enable mining mode and just go to fracture mode, and then you go over. These are the Fentanyl deposits. They're literally tiny pieces of rock, and you just click left and blast them, basically. For some reason it's not showing the bar. There we go, now it's showing the bar, and you can see straight away this is much easier to mine than other ore because it's got an absolutely massive green bar. Oh, dial up the power massively there. Okay, here we go, and you'll see it's much quicker to mine as well. And excellent, if we switch to extraction mode, we can basically hoover up all of these gems. And you can see you get quite a lot as well, and but they will kind of drift and explode everywhere. So you kind of want to be quick on switching to extraction mode. Anyway, we're going to just keep on mining this entire deposit of fentanyl with the rock, and then we'll come back when we're done. So we've now fully harvested this entire deposit and reloaded the ROC back into the ship. Now, The way to actually access this is not actually with the deploy, it's just with this little open door here, and then open storage. It will give you this box. So if you press open this, we can see how many we've got. So we've got 251. This is filling up about 21% of the storage. Now we can't carry it all at once, so we're just going to split it into 100 and transfer it all across into one of these crates. We'll use a smaller crate for now. And we'll just move it all across. And you can see immediately 100 fills up 10% of it. There we are. And then if we just grab the remaining 150, there we go. There we are. So we've filled up about a quarter of the box already. So now we can immediately just close this storage. And that's the rock unloaded, basically. And now we're just going to hop in the ship and fly on to the next deposit. Several million deposits later, I think we've found one. There we go. Do you see how it turns like a white deposit there? That's what you want. So the great thing about the Geo is its mobility. It's much faster than everything else. So now we're just going to mine this deposit using the Geo and see how much we get. Okay, several deaths later, we're finally done. The Geo's back. You'll notice it's a bit banged up, and that is because if you overcharge a rock and you're in the Geo, and even if you fly like 20, 30 feet away, sorry, that's like 50 meters for the Europeans, you still die. So if you accidentally overcharge a rock, get out of there as soon as possible. But yeah, you can open the Geo with just this button here, and there we go. We close it. It gives you this container, and you just take stuff out. Anyway, in this bottom one here is how much we've got. We got 273 plus, you know, these two. Now we've got the gems. We've about got half a one SCU container full of gems. So each deposit roughly gives like 250. So generally, like 3 to 4 deposits will get you 1 SCU of Fentamalite. So now we're going to head to where we're going to sell them, and that is Brio's Breaker Yard on Daymar. Right, we have finally arrived at the Breaker Yard. We've put all our gems in the chest, and it's actually managed to work in the chest, in the container. And now we're just going to go and sell them. Right, here we go. We just simply place the box on. There we are, and send it down. Okay, now, upon sending it down, here's what you want to do. You want to click into this, click into the box, click in all of these on, and press move to elevator. You press this button here which says back to parent container, and then you press move to warehouse. Or sometimes you may have to literally physically move them across. Oh wait, I didn't actually select them, did I? There we go. That would be why. Okay, that's slightly glitchy. Either way, so what this has now done is this has moved all of these outside the container, and it's just easier to do it that way rather than pulling everything out of this container physically, placing it on the elevator where things could break. Anyway, now all of these have been pulled out, so now we head to the commodity shop, which is through this archway here, and is actually in this building, but it's kind of hidden. So you kind of want to go through either of these doors, take a right and go into this alcove here. Here we are. Now, select location, and you go to the Breaker's Yard. Brio's Breaker Yard. Loading, and here we are. In demand, Phenomeline, so 3 of those will net you 1,173. So we'll just press confirm on that. But now we'll do the big one. We'll do all, yeah, and it's not few, 195k. So if half of 1 SCU nets you nearly 200k-ish, then one full box of 1 SCU will net you round about 391k, I believe. And yeah, that is a great start, because doing it with the Atlas Geo, it doesn't really take you that much time. A lot of it actually does depend on how often you find Ventamaline deposits. The best way to actually do this is to get multiple of your friends in Atlas Geos and all have you mine the same deposit. That way you can clear it quickly. Because I was there for about like 10-15 minutes mining one deposit. But I will say, you're now probably thinking, why did we bring the ASCU? This was literally just to store all of our armor and everything else, but also filling up an ASCU container. I do have the statistics here. One ASCU box of this is around 3 million, and then one ASCU box of Hadanite, which admittedly we didn't actually find, annoyingly, but that is about 4 million. I think it's 4.2, although those statistics come purely from my friends who have done this sort of thing, so take that with a pinch of salt. However, if we go to Regolith, we can immediately see that we can do all sorts of things. So here we want to look at vehicle ores. So for example, if we do phantomite, it'll automatically do 1000 SCU, and there we are, 391k Brio's breaker yard. Equally, if we look at Hadanite, it's 600k-ish, thereabout. And yeah, gem mining is very lucrative and very cheap to do early game. So that about wraps it up for gem mining. The Atlas Geo is awesome, and I hope that you have found this video enjoyable. Anyway, thank you all for watching, everyone, and have a good day. Bye!